Hey everybody, it's Monday and we are going to continue with multiplication. Today we're going to talk about how multiplication is equal groups and can be put into equal groups for us to determine how many are in all. Multiplication is just a shorter way to get a total if we have equal groups, just like we learned last week with repeated addition. So today our learning objective for us is going to be we are learning to represent multiplication with equal groups. We're learning this so that we can find the total number quickly, and we're going to know that we are successful when we can find the number in all when we're multiplying numbers of groups by numbers of things in each group. And I can use models and drawings to show equal groups. So again, today we're going to be using multiplication in equal groups to help us determine the total amount. I'm going to repeat our learning objective for us today. And again, our learning objective is we are learning to represent multiplication with equal groups. So I'd like for you to take a look at this picture. So I want you to pause your video, take a look at this picture, and think about what you see in this picture. I'm sure that some of you are seeing plates of cookies. Some of you may have even noticed how many plates there are. Some of you may even noticed how many cookies there are on each plate. Some of you may have been even thinking about how many cookies there are all together. So in this particular situation, if I'm looking for how many cookies are all together, I want to start thinking about how many groups I see. So I'm going to be looking for how many groups. So if I look at this, I'm going to look at the plate as my group. So I have one plate, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 groups. And the next part of my multiplication, I want to think about how many objects are in each group. So I'm going to count how many cookies are on my plate. So in this particular case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put a 4 here. Now, if I'm going to read this, I'm going to say 6 groups of 4. So I have 6 groups of 4 cookies. I want to know how many I have all together. Now, there are different ways that you can do this. We could use repeated addition. I would repeat 4 6 times by adding it 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Or if I'm not sure what 6 times 4 is, if I don't know that basic fact yet, I'm going to be teaching you other strategies later on, but for now, we could just count how many cookies we have in all. That's going to take us a little longer. It's not going to make us fluent with multiplication as it would if we had some type of other strategy to use here. But since we're not there yet, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that we could count all of them, or you could just add by 4s. So I'm going to add by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So for this particular problem, there are 24 cookies. Again, I like to start out the problem just wanting to know what you see. So I want you to pause your video and I want you to think about what you see in this picture. For this particular picture, I want you to think about how many groups you see. And I want you to think about how many objects you see in each group. Now, we're going to be thinking about, and I'm going to get specific here with the question that I want you to answer. I want to know how many windows there are in all. So if I'm looking at the houses as my groups, I'm going to be counting those, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 groups. So I know that I have 7 houses. I want to know how many windows are in the houses all together. So I'm going to have to count them individually. Since they're all the same, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 of those objects in each group. And again, I'm going to be thinking about how I would say this. I would say there are 7 groups of 3 because I'm only talking about the windows. Now, again, if I don't know the facts here, I can just count. I can add by 3. So I could do 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 more is 9, plus 3 more is 12, plus 3 more is 15, plus 3 more is 18, plus 3 more is 21. So the answer to the particular problem that I just gave you is 21. Now, as you're doing your work today, you're going to be doing groupings. You're going to be looking at pictures. So make sure that as you're looking at those, you're determining what your eyes see first. How many groups do you see? How many items or objects do you see in each group? That's how you're going to solve the multiplication for today. Now, again, if you do not know the basic facts, you can use your repeated addition, or you can just count the items all together. Just count them like we did with the windows. I did repeated addition, but you could start out with counting with 1 if you're more comfortable with that right now. But eventually, we're going to learn strategies that are going to help us with multiplication facts that we're not going to have to just count individual ones. But here, you can do that just until we learn those more fluent ways to multiply. For your lesson work today, you are going to be doing Math IXL. You're going to do E1 and E2, and they're all about writing multiplication sentences that represents groupings, how many objects are in each group, and how many groups that you're going to have. So again, you're going to be able to say, I have 7 groups, and in this particular problem, I'm going to say I have 7 groups of 3. I have 7 items or groups, and in each group, I have 3 objects if I'm looking at the window. So they're going to be specific about what's in there if they're asking you a word question, word problem. But if they're not asking you a word problem and they're just giving you a picture, you're going to write the numbers that you see. How many groups do I see? How many objects do I see in your multiplication sentence? But again, today you're going to do the IXL E1 and E2. Try to get a SMART score of 100. You're also going to work on the problem of the day. I don't know about you all, but I'm getting really, really excited. My 2 favorite holidays are coming up this month and next month. What are your favorite holidays? Um, or what is your favorite holiday? I love Christmas time. It's my favorite time of year because I like to give. So if you could in the private comments, drop your favorite holiday. And that's all we're going to have for today on the video. So if you have any questions, always remember that you can pop back on to the whole group Google Meet, and we'll be available to answer any questions you have. You guys have a great day.